How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the KastKing channel. I'm KastKing Pro Team member Ethen Preston, and in this video what I want to talk to you about is kind of a time of year, a few techniques, and a certain species of fish that I like to chase this time of year or going into later fall, early winter, stuff like that. So let's get into it. One of the techniques that there's no secret about it or anything like that, but I started using this around the spawn, post-spawn, throughout the summer, throughout the fall, all the way to ice up, and even a little bit later into ice fishing. We'll talk about that here in a second. And that's your drop shot. So use your favorite drop shot hook, use your favorite drop shot weight. Most of the time in this later fall period into winter, sometimes our fish end up leaving the bank and going a little bit deeper. So as you'll see some of the fish catches here in this video, we're actually fishing like 25, 30 feet, and a ½ ounce drop shot weight really did good for me because I was able to get the bait down there a lot quicker. And some of the fish who were kind of in a neutral mood decided to jump all over that ½ ounce weight because it flew right by them. Now, normally I run a worm, something like that, but once we come into this fall time period, I switch over to minnow profile baits. Here's your little paddle tail, something like that. If they're not hitting and being super aggressive, the water's getting colder and colder and colder, that kind of thing, switch it up. I'm not usually a big proponent of live bait, but in this video and technique we're talking about, we're targeting crappies, walleyes, and we even do catch a few smallmouth bass and stuff like that, but not primarily where we're going. So crappies were our main go-to. We did get some walleyes and stuff, so crappies got in a negative or neutral mood. We did put on just a live minnow, fathead minnow, hook it through the chin so it's still lively, drop that thing down, and the crappies, when they were ready to feed, they didn't eat it all the time, but when they're ready to feed, they smashed it. So I was using the same rod, the KastKing Wide-Eye Walleye 7-1 power jig rod. This is the rod that I'm throwing most of my spinning tackle on, stuff like that. On this one, we got a 3000 size Megatron spinning reel on there. Pretty simple setup. We're running 15-pound 8-carrier KastKing braided line made for spinning reels. Run 15-pound to a 12 or 15-pound KastKing covert leader. Pretty simple stuff when it comes to spinning rods. But the major thing is I want to tell you about is don't put your drop shot away when the ice comes up if you're in the Midwest. Put it on an ice reel, put a live minnow on there, put a plastic on there, something like that. It ends up giving to where that weight will bounce on the bottom, stir up a bunch of dirt, and you've got a minnow sitting up there. So you can actually bang the weight in the dirt, making a cloud, and having a bait move at the same time. Something that's not really talked about in the ice fishing world is running a drop shot, or run it like you normally would a tip up or a bobber, put a live minnow, hook through the chin, let it sit there. When the minnow swims, it'll drag that weight on the bottom. There's a little tip for you there. So a drop shot this time of year all the way into the winter can play, and I like to use it a lot. Another thing that'll play in this time of year all the way into winter is something that I haven't used a ton, but in this video we were able to get out and use it. My buddy Levi caught a ton of nice crappies on it, and that is simply a jig head with a paddle tail. Wow. How big?
I caught it on.
Oh no! Yes! Let's go! Swimbait. Now this jig head is oversized for the video here. This is a 1/4 ounce jig head, but I go to your 3/32, your 16 ounce, your 1/8 ounce. Go down to the size of the fish you're targeting. We're primarily targeting crappies that ended up being under 13 inches, from that 10 to 13 inch range. Not necessarily that you couldn't throw a bigger jig head there, but like I said, we were in some deeper water and we wanted to flutter it down there. But he was using some sort of paddle tail, a minnow style bait. The same baits normally that you could run on a drop shot, a paddle tail or a fork tail, anything like that. Getting it down there, hovering it above those fish, and just slowly moving it. This is also a deadly technique during ice fishing. Now, a lot of people think about soft plastics on a jig head. They think about plastics on a tungsten jig for panfish. Don't forget about this one. Same setup I'm running here, the same rod that we talked about with the drop shot, line, reel, rod combo, everything like that can be run the same. Thanks for watching. Again, I'm Ethen Preston, KastKing Pro Team member. Stay tuned. Check out all the other videos on the KastKing channel. We'll catch you later.